Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first NBA division review. We're gonna go through each division. We're gonna talk about every team. Just get you ready on like who's doing well, who's not, what they're at right now. We'll start at the top. We're gonna do the Atlantic Division. We're gonna be favoritism. We're just gonna get the Sixers out of the way first. We can do a whole video on the Sixers, but let's just get out of the way first. The Philadelphia 76ers, they're 5-1, Davis. They look really
They
good.
are.
They beat
Yes,
the Hornets
they are.
last night in pretty much convincing fashion. It was a little close at times. They took the game away at the end. They look really good. I'm not going to lie. They look really good. Tobias Harris, he is scoring. He looks like the max player we signed last offseason. They look good. I think I have high hopes for the Sixers. Play the Hornets again tomorrow night. We'll see what happens, but 5-1 is a good start.
Yeah, totally agree. The Sixers are leading the league in defensive efficiency already this year, which is a huge stat. Always teams who make the NBA Finals are not only maybe top 10 in offensive efficiency, but almost always top 5 in defensive efficiency. So looking at guys like Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, who are playing well on both sides of the floor, that's great. And good additions like Dwight Howard on the defensive boards and Seth Curry, who's been shooting the lights out so far. He's shooting like 51% or something. I can't wait for the Sixers. We'll probably get a whole another video in there at some point. So we'll move on.
I think we won the Josh Richardson trade, right?
I agree. At this point,
I think we did. It's only 6 games in, but I would say we did. Yep. Yeah, let's move on next. The Brooklyn Nets. Probably the favorites to win this division at first. They are 3-3. Started a little rough. Yep. I mean, it's a big difference when you're playing last season with Kyrie, but like sparingly. Now the KD and Kyrie, they have a lot of great supporting cast around them, including Karis LeVert and Jarrett Allen. They lost Dinwiddie for most of the year, but they still will be a very good team in the East. They started a little rough 3-3. They won a really good game the other night, against the Hawks in a high-scoring game. Credit to the Hawks for hanging with them, but the next night, the Hawks took the dub, and they beat them. Rough start. I think they need to improve a little bit on the defensive end. But KD looks like KD again, and that should be scary.
For sure. Nets, they're 7th in offensive efficiency. That's a stat I love. You're going to hear me say all year long in the NBA.
Davis is an efficient guy. He loves seeing efficiency stats.
I love efficiency stats. And Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, I mean, you can't ask much more from them. They're both averaging like 24, 26 points. It's more about the bench for them. You know, Jarrett Allen has been solid, but not the Jarrett Allen we want to see.
He got put in a body bag by John Collins the other night.
Yes, he did. And it was absurd. It was bad. It was bad. And the loss of Spencer Dinwiddie, that could be huge. But Karis LeVert, averaging 14 points right now, is he letting down right now? I don't know. I think he could step up into a third man type of role for this team if they really want to go far.
Speaking of Karis LeVert, I just want to let you know your Jackson Hayes most improved player pick for earlier in the year was not looking good. Just want to say that.
Yeah.
Not playing well at all. It's only a couple of games in, but not looking good so far.
I was shooting for the fences, you know.
Yeah, no, I feel that. But the Nets, I'd say they're still favored to win this conference and the division. Watch out for the Nets. They could get hot at the right time, and they could go and run the playoffs early. But KD looks like KD, and that's scary to the rest of the league.
Yeah, the Nets.
Kyrie looks like the old Kyrie too.
Yeah, they have a lot of time to pick it up. They're underperforming right now, but a team that's overperforming, the New York goddamn Knicks. I mean, they're 3-3. I would say, they could have gotten 3 wins the entire year, and I would have been surprised.
Yeah.
This team is not very good at all. But, Julius Randle is actually, our buddy Max Krasowitz is not a big Julius Randle guy. He's been huge on it. Julius Randle is popping off this year right now, averaging 21 and 10 boards. I mean, good for them. And Alec Burks, another guy, he was from the Sixers last year. He left in free agency, 20 points per game. RJ Barrett, 17. Elfrid Payton, a guy who's not even known for his offensive game, averaging 14. I like the Knicks, actually, and I'm very excited to see what their future holds for them.
Yeah, they also have not played this season without Obi Toppin. I don't think he's played yet. That's a huge piece that they need on their offense. He's been pretty good. But Julius Randle looks really good. And one thing that you notice about Julius Randle is he's not crowded up in the front court anymore. Last season, I don't know what the hell the front office was doing, but they signed like 4 power forwards. Bobby Portis said the other day on social media he's been doing really well double-doubles. And someone was like, oh, what the hell happened last year? And he's like, too many power forwards.
Right.
I mean, they got rid of everyone else. They got rid of Taj Gibson. I don't know why they signed Taj Gibson. But Julius Randle's playing really well. RJ Barrett looks good at certain times. He needs to be a little bit more consistent. Emmanuel quickly will be a really good pick for them in the next couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a really good pick. The Knicks, you never know. We'll see what happens with this year, but it's a good start for the New York Knicks. Let's move on.
Boston Celtics, baby. I mean, I don't know. 3-3 right now. They're right. I actually just checked the score. They're in the middle of a game with the Pistons. They're actually tied 113-113 with one of the worst teams in the league.
They lost to the Pistons the other night too.
I know, and so this is what I'm scared about for the Celtics. But the other thing is they always end the season on a hot streak. So but the one guy I want to talk about, Jaylen Brown. I mean, this dude is popping off right now. He's shooting 38% from three, which isn't great, but he's shooting 65% inside the arc. I mean,
I'm give Jaylen Brown some credit. He could not shoot at all 2 years ago, and now he's shooting 33% from three. That's pretty good. I'd say it's a good improvement.
I know, and even the additions of Tristan Thompson was pretty solid, and even Jeff Teague on the defensive side of things, pretty solid. He's averaging 2 steals a game. The Celtics are definitely trending upwards. They're not going to be a 500 team come playoff time.
No, but they have some good wins underneath them. I mean, they beat the Pacers, then lost to the Pacers. They beat the Grizzlies with Ja Morant, then they lost to the Nets on Christmas Day pretty badly.
Yeah,
and then they lost to the Pistons the other night. They need to catch it up. They need to beat the Pistons tonight. They play the Raptors, the Heat, the Wizards, and then the Heat, and then the Bulls, and then they play the Sixers back to back on ESPN.
Yeah, baby.
On ESPN.
Yeah, baby.
That'll be a good little stretch for them. The Sixers also play the Nets this Thursday on TNT. It's gonna be a good test.
Big game.
Big Atlantic game. I also love that we're doing a division review, but like no one ever talks about division.
I know
in NBA, but like in NFL, that's like all people talk about. MLB.
Exactly.
It's just about conference in the NBA.
Yep. A team I had on a down. I think Ethan may have had them too. The Raptors starting off 1-4. Offensive efficiency rating, 29th in the league. Second worst. I mean, defensively, they're in the top 5, which isn't bad. But guys like Pascal Siakam, he was a guy that I said I thought he was a little over too hyped coming into this year. He's the 3rd leading scorer on this team behind Fred VanVleet is leading scoring on the Raptors. Like, that cannot happen. That cannot happen. They have Kyle Lowry up there. They have Chris Boucher. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I really do like him. But Pascal Siakam's got to pick it up. And he's got to pick up his all-star ability that he had last year if the Raptors really want to do anything. I don't think he will, but the Raptors, I think, were definitely a team that were clearly on the down.
Yeah, they lost a lot of their defense. They lost their 2 big guys. They lost Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka, both older, but still big parts of their offense. They replaced him with Aaron Baines, and he's fine. He's good. I know he's very loved on Twitter. Kyle Lowry's doing as much as he can, but, it really sucks when you've lost Serge Ibaka, Marc Gasol. I mean, Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard in the last 2 seasons. That's huge for a franchise, and they clearly need to start rebuilding. And they could make the playoffs. They still have some good pieces, and they could get hot at the right time, but this might not be the Raptors' year.
For sure. But look, the Atlantic Division, I'd say top 2, right next to the Pacific Division. Pacific has the Suns, Clippers, Lakers, Sacramento, and Golden State.
That's a really good division.
The Atlantic Division right now is solid, and it's funny because obviously we're Eagles fans, and we're looking at the NFC East. Now we're moving over to basketball. The Sixers are in one of the craziest divisions in the NBA. So, good for them, at least playing to the competition and leading the division right now along teams like the Nets and the Celtics.
So let's make some predictions, Davis. We don't even have to talk about the division, or we can. Who do you have winning this division, and what are your final standings?
I have the Sixers winning the division. I do think that they will keep it up. They've looked hot already this year. I think the Nets will trail right behind. I think the Celtics will solidly finish at the 3rd spot, and then Knicks and Raptors both at the bottom. But my hot take is that I think that 4 teams in this division will make the playoffs. I think that either the Raptors or the Knicks could make a push towards the end of the season, which it would be huge. I mean, half of your conference's teams going in from one division. I think it's going to happen.
I mean, the Knicks making the playoffs will not be the craziest thing that's happened this year. I mean, look at today. The Browns made the playoffs today. The Bills are number 2 seed in the AFC. It's far weirder stuff has happened. New York looks up. I mean, the Jets, but Knicks making the playoffs will be huge, and maybe take some weight off Mr. Kraz's back because I'm sure he's drowning over there in New York. But
yes, sir.
I would say, I'd say 4 teams doing this division. I'd say the Sixers probably will win. I was thinking when you were talking, like, I don't know, I'm going to pick the Nets, but I really do believe in the Sixers this year. They look good. They'll have a tough test coming up this week, Davis. Really tough test. You want to hear who they play this week?
Yes, sir.
The Hornets tomorrow night, then the Wizards, and the Nets, the Nuggets, the Hawks, the Heat twice, then the Grizzlies, and then the Thunder, and then the Celtics back-to-back on ESPN.
Wow.
It's a tough stretch. Really tough stretch. They play the Nuggets at home. Also, Davis, did you know the Sixers did not lose a single home game all of the calendar year of 2020?
Yes, that is very true.
It helps when you go into quarantine for a long-ass time, but They still did not lose a single home game in the year
The
2000.
Wells Fargo Center has a different energy to it, man. I've been there for some playoff games. It is electric.
It is. Fans like no other. Football, basketball, baseball. Philly's nothing like anything else.
Yes,
but
sir.
I think you're right. 4 teams do get the playoffs this year. Who knows? I don't know if I want to see the Knicks get there, but I think it'll probably be the Raptors, if anything.
Agree. I would
think
agree.
The Raptors will catch fire. They still have Kyle Lowry. They still have Siakam. Norman Powell's good. OG Anunoby's good.
Yep. I totally agree. And if you guys are watching this right now, let us know what you think. Give us a hot take on the Atlantic Division. Looks like we'll probably do the Central Division next. Well, that episode will probably come out on Tuesday, I'd assume.
Yeah.
If you have any other hot takes for the Central Division that you want us to talk about, definitely let us know. But Ethan, good job, bud. Good work today.
You know what? Good work to you too.
Thank you, my man. Look, NBA action is here. I'm so excited. I know you are too, and we're just so excited to get this going.
Yeah, 100%. Hopefully the Eagles lose tonight. Maybe get that 5th pick if the Texans win tonight as well.
Tune into the Bocce Boys podcast tomorrow. It's electric.
It'll be very good. But also, if you have not checked it out, one of our fellow Bocce Boys, Mr. Martin, I'm just going to call him Marty, actually. Marty dropped his first content video that is a little different from what we've been doing. It's really funny. They try Bloody Marys, but we do not condone the consumption of alcohol on this channel. That was not alcohol. They're using something else. Just want to say that.
Yes,
but make sure you go check it out. It's really funny. It's doing pretty well so far. Go show Marty some love. Go show the Bocce Boys some love. And as always, like and subscribe. Show us some love. Share it to a friend. Send it to your grandma. Send it to your brother. Send it to the guy down the street. Send it to some guy that's just living off the street. Just show him the Bocce Boys, Help us out.
Everyone loves the Bocce Boys.
Hell yeah. Guys, we love you. We'll see you in a couple of days with another division review. See you later.